We all have a purpose in life. It's that sense of meaning, the reason you wake up every morning with a fire in your soul, knowing that what you're doing matters not just to you, but to the world at large. But sometimes life gets complicated. We get distracted, pulled in different directions, and before we realize it, we may find ourselves far off the path we thought we were destined to walk. In this video, I want to talk about the 5 warning signs that your life purpose is off track. These signs are subtle at first, but if ignored, they grow louder and they'll keep showing up until you pay attention. So, let's dive in. So, first sign that your life purpose is off track is a constant feeling of restlessness. If you're always feeling like something is missing, like no matter what you achieve or how busy you are, there's an gnawing emptiness inside. That's your soul trying to tell you something. Restlessness is not just some random feeling. It's your inner compass being disturbed, trying to realign itself with your true north. You might be doing all the things that society tells you should make you happy, getting a good job, making money, building relationships, but deep down, you know something isn't quite right. You feel like you're chasing after things that don't really satisfy you, like you're running in circles without ever reaching the destination that feels fulfilling. Why do you have to ask yourself, what am I truly longing for? Because sometimes we confuse busyness with purpose. We think that if we're constantly doing something, we must be on the right path, but activity doesn't equal alignment. The key is to listen to that restlessness. It's there to guide you, not to frustrate you. It's a beacon calling you back to your true purpose. But are you brave enough to listen? Are you willing to stop, reflect, and ask yourself the hard questions about what you really want from life?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Another sign that your life purpose is off track is when your energy feels drained all the time. I'm not talking about physical exhaustion from not getting enough sleep or working long hours. I mean a deeper kind of fatigue, a spiritual tiredness. When you're aligned with your purpose, you feel energized even when you're working hard. There's a flow, a sense that what you're doing is feeding your soul. But when you're off track, everything feels like a struggle. You wake up already feeling tired, and no matter what you do, it feels like you're swimming against the current. You might even start to feel resentful of the things that once excited you. It's like you're carrying a heavy weight, and no matter how much you rest, that weight doesn't go away. You have to ask yourself, what is draining my energy? Sometimes we stay in situations, jobs, or relationships out of a sense of obligation or fear of the unknown. But staying in these situations when they no longer serve your purpose will drain you like nothing else. The universe is always trying to guide you back to your true path. And one way it does that is through your energy. When something is aligned with your purpose, it feels expansive. When it's not, it feels constricting. So, pay attention to how your energy shifts in different situations. How do you feel when you're doing certain tasks? How do you feel around certain people? Your energy is the best compass you have for finding your way back to your purpose. Now, let's talk about the third sign that your life purpose is off track. You've lost passion for the things that once excited you. This can be a hard one to recognize because it happens gradually. One day you wake up and realize that the things you used to be passionate about no longer light you up. Maybe it's your career, a hobby, or even a relationship. What once filled you with joy now feels like a chore. You go through the motions, but your heart isn't in it anymore. This loss of passion is a huge red flag that you're not aligned with your true purpose. But here's the thing. Losing passion doesn't necessarily mean that what you're doing is wrong. Sometimes it's not about changing what you're doing, but how you're doing it. Are you still connected to the deeper meaning behind your actions? Sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day grind that we forget why we started in the first place. We focus on the outcome, the money, the recognition, the success, and we lose sight of the passion that originally drove us. The passion is still there, but it's buried beneath layers of expectations and obligations. So ask yourself, what can I do to reconnect with my passion? Maybe it's time to step back and reevaluate your approach. Maybe you need to inject some creativity or spontaneity into your life. Or maybe it's time to let go of something that's no longer serving you. Even if you've invested years of your life into it, it's scary to walk away from something you've built. But if it's no longer aligned with your purpose, holding onto it will only bring more frustration and stagnation. Another warning sign that your life purpose is off track is when you feel disconnected from the people around you. When you're aligned with your purpose, you naturally attract people who support and inspire you. Your relationships feel deep and meaningful. But when you're off track, you start to feel like you don't belong. You might feel isolated, even in a crowd. You might feel like the people around you don't really understand you, or that you're not able to connect with them on a deeper level. This disconnection is a clear sign that something is out of alignment. You have to ask yourself, am I surrounding myself with people who align with my values and purpose? So often, we stay in relationships out of comfort or habit, but if those relationships are no longer serving your growth, they can actually pull you further off track. It's not about blaming others. It's about recognizing that your environment plays a huge role in your ability to live your purpose. Sometimes you need to let go of certain relationships in order to make space for new ones that better align with where you're headed. Now, the fifth and final sign that your life purpose is off track is when you're ignoring the inner voice that's calling for change. Deep down, you know something needs to shift. You felt it for a while, the quiet whispers of your intuition telling you that you're not living in alignment with your higher self. But for some reason, you've been ignoring it. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's doubt, or maybe you just don't know where to start. But the longer you ignore that voice, the louder it gets. Here's the thing, your intuition is always guiding you. It's that inner compass that knows what's best for you, even when your logical mind can't make sense of it. When you ignore your intuition, you create resistance, and that resistance shows up as struggle, frustration, and emotional pain. The universe is always trying to guide you back to your purpose, but it can only do that if you're willing to listen. So, ask yourself, what is my intuition trying to tell me? Have you been feeling like something needs to change, but you're afraid to take that leap? Maybe it's time to trust yourself, to trust that inner voice that's been quietly urging you to move in a new direction. Ignoring your intuition is like driving with a GPS that's telling you to turn left, but you keep going straight. Eventually, you're going to end up lost. The sooner you start listening to that inner voice, the sooner you'll find yourself back on track. Now that we've explored the 5 warning signs that your life purpose is off track, let's focus on the most crucial part: how to course correct. Recognizing that you're off track is only the first step, but it's a powerful one. Awareness opens the door to transformation, but you have to walk through it, and this isn't always easy. Realigning with your true purpose often means confronting uncomfortable truths, shedding old habits, and making bold changes. But once you commit to the journey of realignment, you start to reclaim the energy, passion, and fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with your soul's calling. The first thing you need to do is reconnect with yourself. You might think you know who you are, but the truth is, many of us spend most of our lives disconnected from our true selves. We live according to other people's expectations, societal norms, and fear-based decisions. Over time, this disconnection becomes so deeply ingrained that we forget who we are at our core. So, the first step in realigning with your purpose is to get back in touch with that core, your authentic self. But who are you really? That's the question you need to sit with. And the only way to truly answer it is by creating space for self-reflection. Spend time in silence. Meditate, journal, Disconnect from the noise of the outside world and tune into the whispers of your inner being. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? What lights me up? Not what you think you should want, not what others expect of you, but what your soul is calling for. These aren't questions you can answer in 5 minutes. They require deep introspection, and sometimes the answers might surprise you. You might realize that you've been chasing goals that don't actually resonate with your heart. You might discover that the career you've built, the relationships you've nurtured, or the life you've constructed aren't aligned with your true desires. And that realization can be painful, but it's also liberating because it gives you the power to change. Once you understand what's out of alignment, you can start the process of realignment. The next step is to take action, small, deliberate steps that bring you closer to your true purpose. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. In fact, trying to do too much at once can overwhelm you and make you revert back to old habits. Instead, focus on taking small, consistent actions that align you with your inner truth. Ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today to move closer to my purpose? Maybe that means saying no to something that drains your energy, a project, a relationship, or a routine that no longer serves you. Maybe it means carving out time to pursue a passion project that's been sitting on the back burner for years. Or maybe it's as simple as setting clearer boundaries in your relationships, protecting your time and energy. Each small step is a vote for the life you want to create, and over time these small steps add up to massive change. But here's the thing, realignment isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Life will always throw distractions your way. There will always be temptations to veer off course. Old habits, fears, and limiting beliefs may resurface. That's why it's essential to continuously check in with yourself. Ask yourself regularly, am I still aligned with my purpose? Are the actions I'm taking bringing me closer to my true desires, or are they pulling me further away? This constant self-reflection is what keeps you on track. It's like using a compass. Every now and then, you need to stop and make sure you're still heading in the right direction. And don't be afraid to pivot when necessary. Sometimes you'll realize that what felt aligned a year ago no longer resonates with who you've become. That's okay. We're constantly evolving, and so is our purpose. The key is to stay flexible, to allow yourself to grow and change, and to course correct whenever you feel that inner nudge. Another critical part of realignment is trusting the process. This is perhaps the most challenging aspect because it requires you to surrender control. Are you willing to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to, even when you can't see the full picture? So many of us resist this part. We want to control every detail, every outcome, every step of the journey. But that need for control is often what pulls us off track in the first place. The universe has a plan for you, and your job is not to micromanage that plan, but to trust it. Trust that when you follow your intuition, when you take inspired action, and when you stay aligned with your inner truth, the universe will meet you halfway. It will guide you, support you, and bring the right opportunities, people, and experiences into your life, sometimes in ways you never expected. But that can only happen if you're willing to let go of your need to control the how and focus instead on the why. Why do you want what you want? Why is this purpose important to you? When you connect with your why, the how becomes less important because you trust that the universe will take care of the details. And finally, surround yourself with people who support your growth. You can't realign with your purpose if you're constantly surrounded by people who drain your energy, diminish your dreams, or pull you off course. Your environment matters. The people you spend time with matter. Are the people in your life supporting your purpose, or are they keeping you stuck? Sometimes, realignment means letting go of relationships that no longer serve your highest good. That's not an easy decision to make, but it's a necessary one if you want to live a life of true alignment. Remember this, realigning with your purpose isn't about perfection. It's not about having everything figured out or staying on track 100% of the time. It's about being aware, being intentional, and being willing to course correct when necessary. It's about trusting yourself, trusting the process, and trusting the universe to guide you. And when you do, everything changes. The restlessness fades, the energy returns, the passion reignites. You start living a life that feels meaningful, purposeful, and aligned with who you truly are. So are you ready to take that first step? Are you ready to reconnect with your true purpose and start living the life you were meant to live? All because when you do, the universe will conspire in your favor. It's waiting for you to take that first step. So question is, are you ready to answer the call?